Boom. Okay, so I'm Crivo or Crivo, whatever. People say it differently. It doesn't matter. You guys can introduce yourself. Start with.
Kevin, go ahead.
All right, I'm Kevin, the underage retarded kid, but it's fine. I guess you can go. I got nothing else to say.
All right, well, this is Donut. I am the seasoned veteran, age-wise.
And yeah, this is our shit podcast.
This is what we do.
Just talk about opinions and random stuff. Yeah. So someone started off.
So our topic was supposed to be social media and how it might or may not affect people in a positive or negative or neutral way.
Well, I personally think that it affects them in a negative way to some degree, and to some degree, it kind of helps them as a positive way.
I think
For
that's
sure,
yeah.
I can agree with that.
I think that's what it is. Really, it's mainly about the individual, but it kind of seems that. Then again, I really don't know. You got to get like the actual numbers of like. I feel like more people are more depressed in this generation than the past because of the internet and all that stuff. Because people tend to see like people living a life that they're probably not really living, if that makes sense. And it's like
For sure.
they compare their life to their lives to their own,
Yep.
and they kind of want more. Not everybody, but I feel like most people do, especially like younger kids. They're seeing something that they don't have and they want, but they can't achieve that. So it kind of seems like unfair, even though they're only posting the best parts or aspects of their life, but not the worst. So they don't really see that.
I feel like the most negative is like Instagram, to be honest, just because you know how many Instagram models there are and things like that, and they kind of like base them off what expectations should be, so they kind of get that more mortality to like look towards them and doubt themselves uh as how they look and how they are to like the other people on Instagram, which majority of their lives are pretty much fake. So I mean, that's where I kind of think it's a massive negative kind of standpoints on social media and well, younger minds, I guess.
Valid point. Valid point. I have never had an Instagram, so I cannot disagree or agree with you on that.
What about MySpace back then? I don't know if you used to use social media when you were in high school. I don't know what they had
I
back then.
did have a MySpace, however, I rarely used it for very much, I guess.
I have no clue what a MySpace is, so I can't.
The younger generation. Basically like Facebook. That's what it is. That's all it is. Almost the same thing, basically. I consider
Yeah,
it.
it's essentially pre-Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Similar characteristics, few different features, but essentially Facebook in a nutshell.
Yeah. I don't know. I think still though, it really does depend. Like I think that's everything though. It depends on the individual. But I'm just really saying like compared to now to back then, there's been a more increase. Either there's been a more increase in people that are depressed or anxiety and stuff, or it's just you're able to see it more because of social media. So either one or the other is true. I don't know which one it is, but since back then, people weren't able to post, "Oh, I'm sad" or something, or you're not able to like to really see because there really wasn't no internet or anything like that. Stuff like that wasn't showing,
Right.
because a lot of people,
Information is more readily available.
yeah.
Sure.
But then again, more people I feel like are committing suicide in this like generation. But then again, I don't know if that's a fact. It's just like you said, it's easier to get information, so you see it more.
Exactly. Yeah. That I believe that is a lot of it. Information is just more readily available. So like people say the world's so much worse than it used to be. However, I think it's just mainly because the information is more readily available.
Yeah, you're able to see it easier without basically any effort. It just shows up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
I would say this generation is the most, like depressed and suicidal generation, just from what I'm seeing as going to school and things like that.
That is true.
And I primarily think it's just social media and like I would say their day-to-day lives and how they perceive people on Instagram and things like that. So I feel like Instagram's a huge, not Instagram in as a main source, but like social media in general as a main source of it. But that's why I think it's pretty much a negative thing. But it does have its positives in certain ways. Its negatives kind of influence the positives in a, I don't know if that makes sense somehow, but
Yeah.
That's why I kind of should stay off social media as much. I don't know.
Like me knowing, like I don't really know Donut too well, but talking to him recently for the past few months, recently just this month and last month. I mean, he seems like a person that kind of doesn't like. If he had it, I don't think it would affect him because, like I said, this is kind of based on the individual. It seems like most of our mentalities are weaker than the average person. I guess I don't know. I know mine's weak for sure. It seems like I don't know. Like I know, like for instance, like Donut just. I don't know if he'll even care. Like he probably wouldn't even compare himself to other people. I could be wrong. That's just me assuming. But it's like, I think it's based on the individual. But it just seems like so many people are like that, like they just seem to, oh, I don't look this tall, or I'm not this color, or I don't have hair like this, or I'm not this rich or have this much money. And this guy's living this life, or this girl's living this life. It's so easy, even though I don't think they got it easier either, because some people work hard for it. But the thing is, they're only showing the best parts of their life and not like the worst. Because I mean, who really wants to see like the negative aspect of their lives? People would be like, oh, like all depressed and stuff. And I don't know. It's like when you go on a Twitch stream. Would you rather go on a stream that's always happy and like having a good time, or someone who's always like negative and being like, oh, I hate my life, fuck this, fuck that? Me personally, I wouldn't mind. But I'm just saying, majority of the people want to be like, they go to streams to get away from their own problems, the way I see it. So they don't really like being around that negative type of vibe and stuff.
Agreed.
Well, I have to go off something you said about you wouldn't think if he had it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a lot of people kind of say, and it's like the points when it's drugs and things like that and social media. I mean, you can't really.
Yeah, you can't ever know. Yeah.
You just got to put him in the situation and see what happens, rather than.
And that'd be up to Donut to be able to clarify if what he really actually thinks, because he's never been into really social media. Why haven't you? You don't really just care for it, or?
I mean, I use it, but mainly just to keep up with old friends. As far as like, I don't know. I've never used social media to judge people, because I know it's not always true what I see on there. Like, I don't know. I've seen memes of people taking a photo saying having a great day at the beach, and they're in a sandbox at a fucking playground,
Yeah.
So I kind of just take anything I see on social media with a grain of salt, so to speak.
I mean, pretty much anything on social media is kind of somewhat fake or tampered with to some degree.
That's the other thing that I find like it's hard to believe some people, because like you don't know who's lying or who's being honest. Like all these sponsorship videos, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, or anything, it's like, oh, this product's really good for this, and it's like they seem to advertise it well to like a degree where you think it does what you want it to do, but then you realize that they were just saying it to get the money, you know? But that's the thing, you never know if they're authentic or not. It's like, are they being serious or they just want the money? You know, it's kind of hard to balance. I get that they need money, you know, there's nothing wrong with making money, but at the expense of lying, like saying this product is good for this and that, and it doesn't deliver what you actually expected it to be. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's complicated right there too, though. I'm not blaming them, but it's kind of like if I'm looking for something and it's not exactly what I was looking for, but they advertise it to be that way, it's kind of like shitty. You know, if you go to a YouTuber or an Instagram page saying, oh, try our clothes for working out, it fits this way. But then again, it could be perspective. Maybe it feels that way to them, but it didn't feel that way to us. I don't know.
For sure. I can agree with that.
I do know that, like, for me, my only example, like, I know that social media is like fake, whatever. Like, if they're having a good life, I consider everyone has problems, no matter who they are. It's just how it is, I think. But that's not what I compare myself to. Like, say if I look at someone who's wealthy, I'm like, I wish I just had that much money as they do. Not because my life would be easier, but certain things or aspects in my life would be less stressful to help me do other things that I would want to do. So that's how, like, somewhat that I compare a thing to myself. And then another aspect would be probably like what I consider someone to look good, which necessarily not everybody thinks that person will look good, but I don't consider myself to look good. But if I consider a guy that I see on Instagram that's a model or something, or has a lot of likes or followers, I'm like, I wish I looked like this guy, or had his skin color, or had his type of hair, or his eyes, my fucking average brown eyes, it's not even blue and all that. I'm not saying that brown eyes are bad on girls, because then a girl would probably take it as, oh, so brown eyes are nothing. Like, I like brown eyes. I'm just saying, me personally, I wish I had something unique about me that made me stand out like these other guys, that makes it seem that I find attractive, you know? But it's just all my perspective of what I see beauty as, I guess. But I feel like I see it is because I see it everywhere. Like, you see it in the movies. You mainly see like certain types of people, not race, but just people, like from their hair, from their eyes, like colored eyes and everything, known as beautiful. Like, they mainly cast stuff like that. That makes sense. So it's like I tend to compare myself to these real life people that actually look like that, you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I was born the way I am. I look the way I am. Doesn't mean I'm ugly or not, but I think I am. But it's just a perspective or something that I perceive to be. It's not that it's true, but still, it's still kind of like hard to break that barrier between knowing that this is how I look and that's how they look. And some people might think they're ugly, and some people might think I'm ugly, but some people might find me attractive, and some people might find them attractive, which is just how it is. But I can't seem to separate the two from that, which that's where I think social media also makes people compare their looks to others, and whether it's their eye color, their hair color, their height, whatever it is.
For sure.
The main thing I feel like the reason why people are kind of depressed and like a bit suicidal just because from social media is because you know how there's people like, I mean, there's thousands of people just showing off how much money, how they look, I mean, just how much of a better life, I guess, to some degree they're having than the, I guess, average person would. So I think they would like kind of feel as if, you know, damn, I wish that was me, and I wish I could have had that money, things like that, and feel like, you know, I wish I could do, I don't know, more with all that money. So they kind of get sad and depressed because they don't have the money to do anything. So they kind of just bury themselves in like a eternal uh, depression that they create just from social media and just watching other people.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I don't know. I mean, social media, in my opinion, only affects each individual how they let it affect them.
Yeah.
And you know, you're a younger demographic. I'm an older. Crevo's in between. But I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, I feel like there should be like, I guess something, not like a, I went to like they have, pretty sure they have like therapy for all that, but I feel like they should be primarily just for the smaller, uh, smaller, well, not smaller, but younger
Generation.
kids. Yeah, younger generations, to have them like a therapy session for them, something like that.
I mean, I think any type of help helps, kind of. And I mean, it's really complicated to get into like stuff like this and other things because it's just, I mean, it's good to talk about, to acknowledge the people that are actually feeling this way. But then there's the other type of group of people that are like, oh, it doesn't affect me. You know, they're confident or whatever, for whatever reason. They don't think that way, you know, just for whatever reason people think negatively. I mean, I don't know why I think negatively. I mean, logically, I know that I'm not going to ever look a certain way. And logically, I know that I may be ugly to some, but attracted to others. But I still can't seem to get out of the bubble of like, oh, I have to look this way to be pretty or whatever, be handsome. But what if I look like that person and then all of a sudden I still want to change the way I look to attract a certain other girl that I like, you know? So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, why do I even care how I look to attract a girl if she doesn't like me for my personality, or if I don't look good to her, then I just don't look good to her. Even if I change my looks, then if it doesn't work out and I like someone else and then she doesn't like me because I look like my new look, then what the fuck? So it's like, it's just confusing. It goes like in a whole circle, cycle, whatever.
Sure. I mean, people are going to be attracted to whatever it is they're attracted to.
Yeah.
And most of the time, there's going to be little to nothing that you can do about that. Even if you do change your look or whatever, if they're unattracted to you in the beginning, they're likely going to always be unattracted to you. And in my opinion.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much you change or if you go have plastic surgery or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like just more people are just a bit on the sensitive side in this generation.
That's definitely me.
Because I mean, people kind of take things
Too seriously.
Yeah. Then they should be taken. Because I mean, like, if a girl dumps you, it's whatever. If she doesn't like you, it's whatever. It's what, there's like a couple. There's a couple billion more. So I mean,
and they're hot too. So.
You shouldn't be mad over just one. I feel like you should just not care to some degree about how you look or the stance on what they thought how you didn't find you attractive by.
That's one of them, you know, looks and then money and then like the things that they have. Like I wish I could buy whatever I wanted without having to like really stress over it, you know? Like I'm grateful that I'm able to afford most in what others can. Like I see that, you know? But sometimes it's like I still have to think about certain things that I buy. You know, I can't just go out and spend 10 grand on whatever I want. I mean, I guess I could, but then I'd probably be broke. And that's not good, you know? For what? For a hobby or something, you know? So it's like,
yeah,
it's a big help having money. Just put it that way. Regardless, it doesn't make you happy, I don't think. I really don't think money will make you happy. But I mean, if you're super poor and then you're living in the street and not eating, I mean, how can that make you happy, you know?
Well, I would say money could help you, will make you happy to some degree, but
yeah,
you wouldn't be like fully happy.
Yeah, you got to do things you enjoy, I think. Like things that you find meaningful.
Money can definitely help persuade you to be happy.
Yeah.
If you spend money towards things that kind of help you feel happy.
But at some point, so much money is not going to benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
There's a happy medium.
I mean, I've been watching like a whole lot of videos of, which has to do with social media. It's like, I think it's called TikTok or something. I don't know. It's where people like lip sync or something.
Oh my goodness.
And they make so much money from like the views that they get and likes and stuff. I'm like, it's crazy that, I mean, respect to them for making, you know, they're making a living for whatever. I don't really care. But it's just kind of insane how this would have never happened like 30 years ago. Like all they're doing is like they put a random song and then just lip sync to it, and it's like what 15 seconds, not even less maybe. And it's like some of
Yeah.
them are
15
popular.
seconds.
It's,
I mean, lip singing has been around for quite a while.
yeah, but I don't know if they made this much money. I mean,
Well,
I
true.
could be wrong, but
True.
it's just crazy.
I mean, just because of pure inflation, obviously
Yeah.
anybody nowadays is going to make more than anybody 15 years ago.
I'm not arguing like it's messed up or not. It's just crazy to think about, you know. It's all because like
For sure.
I respect whoever's doing that, whatever, you know. I mean, now they have enough money to take care of their parents, or hopefully they don't waste it, do whatever they want with it. But at least, you know, they're doing something at least with it, hopefully. But it's just crazy how there's different opportunities now to make money on social media as well, so it can be helpful. Like there's the bodybuilding community, then there's like the I don't know what to call these girls, the ones that like sell their bodies on Patreon and stuff. I don't know what they're called, but I guess I mean I'm not gonna call them sluts. I don't think they're sluts, but like, you know, they try to make their money, you know, by selling like their nudes or whatever. And then there's like, I don't know, there's all types of categories that they try to make money their own ways. Podcast is another one, you know, and so on.
Yeah. I don't know. Just it's weird to be honest. Like I have no clue.
Like I was barely in school and there was barely flip phones. Like what the fuck? Now there's like touch screens and everything. Which was in high school is when there were touch screens, but middle school, everyone was using like this Razor flip phone. Probably Kevin don't know what that is, but still.
I know exactly what a Razor flip phone is. I think it was indestructible almost.
Everyone had like different colors and stuff.
Well, I used to have a flip phone, but like, I just got it just for I'd say, just for old tech wise. I don't know, because I like to keep kind of old tech.
Yeah.
So I bought like a flip phone once. You know, I ended up raging and threw it at the wall. Pretty much exploded, but I mean, just how fast tech grows. It's kind of a big impact on people.
Yeah, technology is always improving.
That's a good thing though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think Donna's in between like the age of agreeing that it's cool to like close to being old enough to be like, oh fuck, technology is too scary and all this. Because like I think people in their 50s, most of them are like, oh man, all this stuff is scary and
I mean,
weird.
it should be.
I mean,
The majority, yeah, I can agree with you.
I mean, I can get how it can be scary though, you know, but it's still kind of cool. Obviously, there's going to be problems whenever it advances, but still, once it fixes, I mean, there's always going to be problems no matter what. It's just how it is.
Yeah, if we kind of like, if you make technology too fast, I mean, it's gonna cause an not an evolution, but it's gonna have a kind of a negative impact. I wouldn't say like I want to say like a deadly impact, but it will have a huge
I
impact.
probably should have used my grenade launcher there. Rocket launcher, whatever. Okay, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
But yeah, a topic of social media. We'll probably talk about AI and future technology in the future, but in the next episodes or something. But I mean, anything can make you depressed, to be honest. It's just like when they were talking about is it a mental illness to play video games. Like, what the fuck? Anything can be a mental illness if you're addicted to something.
Yeah,
Sure.
And I mean, what's the standards of kind of being addicted to something?
Yeah.
If you can't kind of just put a baseline of it.
I don't know what they were thinking, but I mean, I can see where they're coming from. Some people might be addicted to gaming, Not saying there's no people, but everyone who plays video games for 8 hours a day doesn't mean they're addicted.
Correct.
I mean, that's like working a job 8 hours a day. What, are they addicted to working?
Yeah. Sometimes it's sometimes it's a job for people. Sometimes it's a hobby. Sometimes people are addicted to it.
Yeah. But yes, social media can make you depressed, but it can also make you happy and make you money or make you poor.
For sure.
Like
So,
YouTube.
Yeah, there's numerous people that have made lots of money off of it.
yeah. Which is
I
good.
feel like YouTube's like kind of the primary that kind of like
Build the way.
helps social media give it a good rep, just because it has the ability to reach millions of kids and people and kind of like help them on their day-to-day base just by just watching a 10-minute video or however long it is, just help that person rather than make them sad and depressed.
Yeah. And it's kind of with video games, like some people use it as an escape to, just to have a good time, not worry about what they're going through in life. That can be with social media too. Maybe like they are insecure, even though we consider them to be well off or something. They upload so they can feel that security of people giving them attention. It might not work in the long run, but for that moment, they probably feel like, oh, these people think I'm attractive. But eventually I feel like they'll get numb to it. It's like after a while, so many people telling you something, you really don't believe it.
Yeah, you just get to a point where you just don't care anymore.
Or it's the complete opposite.
Or they get an ego boost.
After a while of people telling you the same thing,
you
will believe it.
You get a real ego boost sometimes too, maybe.
Yeah.
But then that goes back to all this stuff is really complicated because it's perspective, it's on the individual. It's just really confusing. You can like overthink everything and say, oh, well, it depends on this or it depends on that, because there's a lot of variables and stuff that could lead to one person being depressed and another. Like two people can live the same life, like an Instagram life, upload the same type of pictures and everything and get the same kind of comments. One person may be happy, the other may be depressed, but they did the exact same thing, but they're just two different people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all I really have to say about that social media. So I don't.
Yeah, I mean, people growing up, you get told things by whether it be your peers, your parents, whatever. If you get told it enough, a lot of people will accept it as fact.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's merely up to the individual to determine that, really, in my opinion.
I feel like the best way to kind of steer younger minds from social media is kind of limit their day-to-day usage on how much they can use social media. Like, not to the point where it infringes their rights, but like there should be a day-to-day limit on how much they can use and what I wouldn't say what they can see, because that would kind of infringe their rights.
I think that's more on the parent side, whether they, I don't know, like if I was a parent, I would like let them, but I'll be like the type of parent to talk to them about everything possible. Like I know some parents are weird to talk about sex and condoms and all these things. And like a lot of parents aren't close with their kids. At least I would assume, because it doesn't seem like a lot of people are. There's two types of parents that I've usually seen, like majorities, like they're not really close to their kids, or one of them lets their kid do whatever. Like I knew this person that lets them come over. Yeah. Like they just let you come home and like, oh, you can sleep with any guy you want. And like they treat it as nothing, basically, which I'm not saying it's something. You can, if that's what you want, but like they don't really pay attention to their kid or what they're doing. And then they end up getting pregnant and all this, instead of putting them on, like telling them about condoms or birth control, just to be safe, at least telling them about STDs and all this.
Yeah.
Or doing drugs. I'm not saying anything's wrong with having sex or anything's wrong with smoking weed, but it's just like at least acknowledge your kids, what they're doing, and be there for them and explain to them the consequences and what you want them to do and how to be safe and how to be, secure and all these things, depending on the kind of parent you are. And then there's the nice parents that work hard and try to give you a better life, and which was my parents, but I think it was Donna's parents too, from what I've heard. I don't know about your parents, Kevin, because I never really asked you about your parents, but
I mean, yeah, I would say they were.
But
parents are kind of like the main points on kind of helping kids, just because they're with them more.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty much with them every day of their lives. So
yeah, whether you want to or not, you're going to learn from your parents.
Yeah. Might
you're
not
going
be
to pick up habits from your parents.
May not be everything, but you'll little things here and there that you'll implement into your personality from them. But yeah. Mumbling on now. Really don't know what else to say. I think that's it for me, at least, that I have about social media. It can be a good thing, bad thing, and neutral. Depends on the individual, but we tend to see it more because it's easier to access. And I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to live your life and do you as best as you can, I guess.
Can't let other people kind of run your life. Just by what you see online.
Yeah. Or what someone tells you online either. There's a lot of trolls too, so. But yeah, that concludes today's whatever it was.
Today's podcast.
Conversation. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe.
Let's
Just kidding.
verbalize.
Yes. Thanks. And we'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, any last words from you guys?
No, we covered it pretty well. Everything sounded good. It was just all obviously opinions in the end.
Like everything, almost, basically.
People can agree, disagree.
Yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments.
Opinions.
Start a conversation.
Let us know what you thought.
Yes. Share your experiences with social media down in the comments, or talk about it and we'll get a conversation going. We'll reply, all of us. And if you guys leave comments, we'll reply back of what you thought or what you think social media is, or how you treat social media, or how social media has affected you, or what you think about it, and so on. Yeah, that's it for me, at least.